W2AV Talk with Demetris Curry. Here's your gateway to discovering the formula to a more gratifying life with the accountability you need to start and stay energized, inspired, and on top. Author and wealth strategist Demetris Curry is a nationally leading voice and go-to authority on insurance and financial literacy. Got questions about your finances, relationships, healthy living, or professional life? W2AV talks about it all, along with tips to enhance your overall well-being. W2AV Talk with Demetris Curry.
Hello, everyone. This is Demetris Curry coming to you today with an amazing author. And I'm so excited that we had the opportunity to put him on this platform with us. This is going to be one of the most exciting interviews ever. With W2AV Talk, we are bringing Authors Unite from authors across the globe and getting to know that author behind the scenes of their wonderful book of work. And so today, we had the opportunity to bring none other than Mr. Sonny Weathersby. I'm so excited that he is actually here. I'm so excited that you're here with us today. And before we jump into that, I was looking at so much in your bio. We've talked about this briefly in the past, and I was just like, of all the authors that we bring over here, I definitely got to make sure we talk to Sonny because we relate in so many ways in the way that we grew up. And so I don't want to tell your story. I would love for you to tell us who you are, Sonny, and how this book of work, not just this one, but also your other book of, Spilling the Beans. I want you to talk to us about how these things came into fruition and who you are as the author, Sonny Weathersby. I'm giving you the floor. How are you?
How are you today? I'm good, man. I'm just glad to be here. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome.
Share this space with you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Sonny, we had the opportunity to talk briefly about this, but let's let the authors know who you are and your audience of who are you behind the scenes of these amazing, transparent books of work that you brought to the forefront.
Well, I'm just a regular old guy from Los Angeles. We don't want to put too much on that. I'm just so happy for for this opportunity. I say that again, just to be able to share my story on this platform, but just share it with the world. I always say this: people want to be heard. You'd be surprised. People all over the world just want to be heard, just want to get their story out, just to be heard. So I just thought this was a good opportunity, for me to put my story on in hopes that it gives somebody some inspiration or motivation or whatever the case may be. That was really the passion behind it. However, I didn't write this book for the masses, to be honest with you. I actually wrote this book for my family. This memoir was for my family because just to go straight into it. For years, I felt, as a man, I was always misunderstood. People see you as, doing this, I'm doing that and doing this, but no one really understand the person behind it and what I was really feeling and what was my drive behind, 20 years of struggle. I'm gonna say that, I struggled for 20 years. I was, when they say in the dark, baby daddy, mama, baby mom, baby daddy, whatever drama, broke, all that. I was every bit of that bad person, and I made some choices in my life that I'm gonna say that I take full responsibility for. That was having kids at a young age, and but it's all about evolving and coming to understanding of who you are, and this book actually was that catalyst for me. It was actually writing this story actually opened me up to so many emotions, so many things that I thought that was hidden inside my childhood that I thought was necessary to go back to heal myself for the future. I actually wrote the story about like 6 years ago, and actually when I wrote the story six and a half years ago, I was homeless, and I wrote the book while I was in college. I was going to Cal State Northridge pursuing my undergrad study 6.5 years ago, and it was my senior year, and I was homeless, and I wrote the book at the garage of my campus late at night. It was storming and raining. And I remember just being frustrated. Now, may I add, I was homeless by choice. You know, I was at a point in my life, you know, I didn't 39, about to be 40. I didn't want to, actually, I was a little bit younger than that. So it was like 7 years ago. I didn't want to, you know, involve my life in nobody else's. I didn't want to put my drama on no one else. I couldn't afford to live on my own at the time. So I said, you know what? I'm going to be a man. I'm going to strap my boots up. I just got the military. I'm used to it. I'm going to sleep in my car. And then one night it was like it was storming. And it was a lot of emotions like I was dealing with. And tears was just running down my eyes as it was raining late at night. And the words came out my head like magic. I began running every morning, trying to erase the pain and frustration from recent events in my life. That's the starting of the book. Yeah. And it just flowed from there. I actually wrote the book on paper. And it was a lot more detailed than what it is now. I actually saved a lot of people's lives. You know, the whole goal behind the story wasn't to, you know, to poke at other people or blame other people or anything. It was really about me taking responsibility for who I am and where I was at the time of my life, and what was I going to do to get myself out of this quicksand I was in, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and I love that you said that, because, you know, when you're telling your story, a lot of times your story involves other people.
Right.
You know, the impact of being in their circle, or being in the home with them, or being a child of theirs, or being, you know, a friend, a close friend of theirs. And sometimes your story blends into their story. It's sort of like you are affected by the other. And so I feel that when you mentioned that, you know, you wasn't trying to poke anyone about telling your story, but it was your story. It was how you received it, your experiences. And in that experience, it helped you move to another level. That's powerful within itself.
Man, and you know, and it's funny, you know, my family, you know, I don't want to, you know, put my family down in no type of way, but it was so serious that my family had to get together to read it. I mean, it was that they had to get together as a group to read the story, because people was afraid that maybe I'd be telling stories, but that's not what it was about. I didn't tell anything bad. If you notice in the book, it wasn't about putting anybody down. Now, I made mention of some realities that was going on in my, you know, my father was on drugs at the time and stuff like that, or whatever the case. But it really wasn't to poke. It was really to really paint a picture. You know, even when you look at the beginning of every chapter, I had a quote.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to paint a picture of like what was going on in the world, and my perspective, being a young, you know, Black male, well, my perspective was of it, you know, and how I dealt with it, you know, and what I noticed, Mrs. Curry, is that people really pretty much go through the same obstacles. I mean, we live in America. Everybody pretty much got the same challenges, you know. Yeah. I'm not the only person that grew up in the you know, environment where father was on drugs, single parent households. I'm not the only kid that grew up in the inner cities. I'm not the only other kid in the world that been through abuse. I'm not the kid that been abandoned. All those different these different, you know, paradigms. However, I was able to look at it and forgive myself, forgive the people that was part of that, and forgive myself, so I can create a new world for myself from my own eyes, you know? I had to heal myself. That's what I'm trying to say. I had to heal myself and forgive others, you know? Not put the blame on nobody, because I'm involved. I was involved in every part of that story, every part of the dialogue. I take responsibility for it. And that's what I really wanted people to get out of it. In order to heal, you have to take responsibility for yourself and your involvement, even in the pain. You know? Because we're all human. Everybody's going through something, and everybody's, you know, story is tied to something. Everybody's life is tied to something that was hurting or damaging. And what oftentimes happens, Mrs. Curry, is that hurt people hurt other people.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And if that's all they know, that's what they're going to give out. That's all they know. That's what they're going to give out. And you made a valid point there. It's like, for instance, you know, some of the things that you just checked off as far as, you know, abuse and, you know, growing up in such a way and things of that nature. I have all those checkpoints. You ain't by yourself.
Right.
I have all those checkpoints too. And you're so right. You know, growing up in, you know, inner city, my younger years, I grew up in Detroit and saw a lot of the exact same, things that you mentioned in your book, as far as the games and how that actually related, and how you had to try to avoid being picked in and added into those games and things of that nature. And all of that is part of the experience that you mentioned here. There are so many others right now that's going through that. And so your story is, the transparency of your story is so impactful, so impactful. Believe it or not, I had this conversation with my grandmother many, many, many years ago. And her and I talked about why you go through certain things, right? And a lot of times when you're going through certain things, it's not just for you, it's for you to be a testament to somebody else that is going through it as well, or is getting ready to go through it and don't know it.
Right.
But your strength gives them strength, right? And you have gained some powerful, powerful, experiences from this that has helped so many other people. I get a chance to watch you online all the time. I'm so proud of you. And I said, oh, look at him doing his thing, right? But they don't know the story behind the story. That's the thing. A lot of times people have absolutely no idea of the story behind the story, right? And you have come through it and moved through it, so gracefully. And you may not see that, but people like myself that are watching you are seeing how you pushed through some stuff and got to the other side and mastered that pain to be able to help somebody else that's going through it.
Absolutely.
So I'm so proud of you.
Man, I appreciate it.
Thank you for your transparency and sharing those thoughts. You're also going on a very strenuous health journey. And tell us about your health journey, because you're real about that thing.
So how I got into the health and wellness industry, it wasn't by default. It was actually fitness and health and wellness, and that is what kept me alive all these years, Dr. Curry, Mrs. Curry. Eating right, taking care of my body, preserving myself. It helped me through all my stresses or whatever. Just having an outlet, right? Yeah. But what actually led me into this industry, I had a buddy some years ago, and I got cancer, and the doctors had gave him like 2 months to live. Like, even when I say it was all of a sudden, my buddy here in Atlanta, good friend of mine, I grew up with him, played football, college football with him and everything. And doctor gave him 2 months to live. And when I say everybody left his side, all his friends, all his homies, everybody left his side. And I was like, wow, I know that if I was in that situation, I would need somebody, what I'm saying? So I started, I did whatever I could to help him. I started juicing for him. And he ended up living like 6 months longer, but he eventually passed away, but I started getting into juicing. And from there, like, I started learning about inflammation. I mean, I've always was, privy of this, this type of information. I actually knew Dr. Sebi real well. He's a famous herbalist, rest in peace. I actually knew him well. He's come to my house. He's, what it is, you get people trying to tell you about how to eat, like, don't eat this and this, and you like, you condition like, what? Nah, that's that. I want to eat for, but you're not thinking about eating for your health and eating to live. We live to eat. They say don't live to eat, eat to live. So when I started learning about diet and health, and really starting how to incorporate it into my lifestyle, man, it changed my life. So I just really wanted to pass that to as many people as possible, that we don't have to be a victim of our circumstances, but what we must do is take control of our life by, of course, eating healthy, doing whatever we got to do to change our mindsets, putting positive affirmations into the atmosphere. And if the negativity comes, just keep pushing with the positivity. And when I say that I took myself out of $100,000 school debts, school loans, debts, bad credit, unpaid child support, when I say I was every bit of that in a hole, I was every bit of it in that hole, Mrs. Curry. What I'm saying? But you know what? I had a good grandmother, and rest in peace. She always taught me, like you talk about your grandma. My grandmother taught me that you don't become a man till you're 40. So it kind of like in my 30s, I always looked at it like, wait till I get in my 40s. Y'all gonna see what I was building towards.
And I think that must be a grandfather thing, because my great grandfather used to always tell me that you don't get past your dumb years until you hit your 40s.
Right.
And I never really knew what that meant. Was like, he was like, you still in your dumb years. What does that mean, Papa?
Right.
What does that mean? I'm still in my dumb years. And I was in my 20s and 30s at that time when he said that.
Right.
I was like, okay.
I'll be so good for that wisdom.
Yeah, but now I get it. Now I get it. I'm well into my 40s, knocking on 50 soon. I'm like, I get it.
Right.
You know, of those bad decisions and not really thinking things through, you know.
Right.
And then, you know, thinking about how your decisions are affecting other people. I wasn't really thinking that at that time, you know. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right on that. Absolutely right on that. The health struggle is always a struggle for me too. You know, I've always, you know, been that person where, you know, Southern food. Hey, Southern food. I love to cook.
I'm married to a Southern woman. You know, my mama, they be like us with the hips and the booty. I'm like, hold on, boo. That's all good, but you know, we got to make sure that, you know, it's the right fit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's right. Look, I used to make this 3-layered cornbread with the butter in the middle, you know. And my grandmama taught me how to make it in that iron skillet.
Right.
And my husband was like, listen now, baby, I can't let my pants out no further. I ain't going to the Husky men. I'm not buying stuff in Husky and Big and Tall. You're going to have to chill out on this cornbread on every meal. But that was early on in marriage. I mean, we've been married 20 years now, but him and I both work out together now, like you guys do. And but we had to sort of start thinking about, we want to be here for not only our son, who is 12, but want to be here for our grandkids one day. And
that's it right there.
Grandkids one day. And I'm just like, I can't do it with this hog maw. I can't do it with eating all of this extra butter and fried foods all the time, and all these other things that clog your arteries and so forth. So looking at the, we do a lot of green smoothies, and I'm glad that you mentioned the juicing, because I'm learning the differences between doing like the green smoothies and doing the just the juicing itself and the benefits of it.
So let me throw this in there, because I really want to be clear with people, you know, because I know that sometimes health and everything is like a fad for people. So sometimes, now hear me out. Sometimes we just follow, you know, what we hear and everything. So we have to be cognizant that, first of all, we're frugivores. We're animals that eat fruit. So we're not herbivores. We're not plant eaters. So when we eat our greens, you know what I'm saying, we have to understand what the greens are. Is like a base. You know what I'm saying? Like when dogs, they get sick, they eat grass to do what? Regurgitate. Yeah, get out. So the greens is for the cleansing. But to rejuvenate our cells and to build us fruit. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, berries, acai berries, all the berries make, you know what I'm saying, a lot of berries, you know what I'm saying, a lot of fruit. I do a lot of watermelon. I juice a lot of, you know what I'm saying, I juice a lot of my fruit. And the reason why, because greens, you know, our stomach, the hydrochloric acid and the pepsin in our stomach really doesn't break down grass. You can eat kale, which is high in protein, so many good minerals in it, but our stomachs don't really break that down. We have to juice those things.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure we juice our vegetables. And you know, what we want to focus on really when it comes to eating is fiber. Getting a lot of fiber to make sure we clean our colon out, right? And then too, you know, practicing fasting. You know, it's called it's a type of fasting. I guess off the top of my brain, but what I do is I usually don't eat during the day. I eat once a day, but I get all my, I snack on like fruit, and, you know what I'm saying? I do snack on fruit, I can lie, and almonds and stuff in my cabinets, but I only really eat one heavy meal a day. You know what I'm saying? Because I try to keep my system as clean as possible, you know?
Right. And I do that too. I do one good meal per day, and then, but I'm a fruit eater. I mean, I go through them all. I mean, every night, literally every single night, I'm eating some type of fruit, or either a fruit bowl, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, you know, all mixed together, strawberries. I just sort of do like a fruit bowl.
Your skin. Look at your skin. It's glowing, it's radiant.
I'm trying to put it together.
We're supposed to get our water. Our waters are supposed to come from our fruits.
Oh, so and that's why probably why watermelon is so good in our house. We go through
Absolutely.
watermelon like crazy in our
Mhm.
house, and melons,
Right.
even mangoes. I don't know
Right.
how wonderful mangoes are, but it's one
All
of
of
my
it's good.
favorite fruits. Yeah, so we go through that quite a bit. So I'm on the right track then.
No, you're very much on the right track. And so I always tell people this: look, don't let people tell you that. So you got to understand, fruit is fructose. So that's not the same kind of sugars as the maltose and the glucose and all those others. Those sugars, those are real sugars that the pancreas need to break those down. You need the pancreas to break those sugars down. Glucose goes straight to the body, so straight to the blood. You know what I'm saying? Fructose does. So you
Fructose
don't.
does.
So you won't get. My point is, you won't get high blood pressure and stuff from eating fruit. That's a lie. That's a myth. I hear a lot of people always
Yes.
ask me, "Oh, if you eat a lot of fruit, don't you get?" No, that's fructose. Read about fructose. Fructose is good for you. It
I'm
actually
glad you
reduces
said
your
that.
cells. Right.
I'm glad you said that because I'm one of those people that have always tried to keep my blood pressure level. And so,
Right.
I don't like meds, but I try to use, food to sort
Right.
of, keep myself level. So I'm glad you said that because I was like, am I eating too much fruit?
Hippocrates said, "Let medicine is thy food. Like, let food be thy medicine." You know what I'm saying? Let food be thy medicine. That's what it is. Food is medicine.
Wow, wow. And while we're talking about fitness, I see that you have some new things in store with this
Yeah.
new gymnasium. Tell us
Yeah.
about that and I know you're pulling that together. Has it officially opened just yet?
No, no. So I'm in the building process. They gave me 2 months to build it out. It's going to be called Tapped In Boxing
I
Gym. You know what I'm saying?
accept
So
it. I
I'm
love it.
man, listen, this is my dream, man. I live to serve people, Mrs.
Yeah,
Curry. You feel me? I
yeah,
like helping people and I like serving. That hospitality, that's what I'm all about, man. And God gave me this. I'm gonna build a center for not only for of course fighters, but for kids too. It's gonna be part of it's gonna be my nonprofit, What It
yeah,
Takes, WIT,
yeah.
WIT WIT, and it's a program for the youth to help them, you know, gradually grow through college, high school, college, and beyond. You know, so teaching the basic skills of life, financing, economic literacy, teach them about business, how to uh, uh, do business plans, name it. I
Yes,
mean, everything, anything that's going to aid the kids, because you go to school, right? They
yeah.
teach you all these different topics, but they don't teach you about how to invest.
No, they do not. And I have like 2 business degrees. I can tell you that.
Okay.
They
So,
do not teach you that,
right.
and I'm glad that you're pulling that together. That warms my heart because financial literacy is my topic of choice, and making sure that we can help children get ahead of the game, well before they even get into much debt is so important. It's so
Dr. Kerr,
important, and
I call you Dr. Kerr. Mrs. Kerr, we need to read. That's what it is.
yeah, absolutely. We need to read.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that, we find ourselves in positions where we say that economy and economic strain is pulling us back. I don't agree with that. I
I
think
don't.
there is a lot of opportunity for people to get ahead of their financial situation, their economic situation, change their lifestyles, change their zip code
Right.
of where they want to be
Right.
by making sure that they hold themselves accountable to learning something new, learning something they've never done before, learning a trade, learning, some type of information that can help them with their finances, maybe a better way of balancing their books, maybe they're a better way of
Mentor.
creating a business, getting a mentor that have been where they're trying to go.
Absolutely.
All of that, and let me tell you why I feel that way. And that's personal. That's a personal topic. I feel that way because I'm a trailer park child. I
Hmm.
grew up in the trailer park. I grew up in drug infested Detroit as a young child. I grew up in, being in an abusive home, domestic violent home, jumping from house to house to house to run away from domestic violence. I grew up in seeing friends and family killed in front of me, to gang stuff and to domestic violence. I've seen all that stuff. I've witnessed, and I've been held at gunpoint myself. But with all of that, I became really, really afraid. And you and I talked about this sometime before. When I was a kid, I became really afraid of money, because every experience I had up to that point was somebody dying in front of me because of money. You owe me money, I'm finna kill you. You spent my money, I'm finna kill you. You didn't give me my money for my drugs, I'm finna kill you. All this stuff, right? And from that point, as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, I'm thinking, I don't want to have money. If that's what it's gonna bring, I don't need it, right? But it took a renewing of the mind.
There you go.
And reading and learning new stuff into figuring it out. I decided to go to school for business to learn what money was about, to learn what supply and demand meant, and wanted to understand how to invest. And I didn't learn the investing part from college. I learned that from being in the streets, from actually watching other people do what I was trying to do. But it was, I'm going to learn this. I'm not going to be defeated. I'm not going to be broke. I need to understand how to live and how to be able to have and how to supply for my family and how to be different than everybody else that have run across me thus far. You know what I mean? Right. So all of that was part of it, but you had to make a mental decision. A mental decision. I'm tired. You know, you have that tired of being sick and tired, Sonny. It was one of those tired of being sick and tired of, you know, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, tired of being on, you know, the government for monies and, you know, waiting in line with parents to get some cheese and crackers and milk and all that, all this food stamps. And then I want to understand, how can I have more?
Right.
How can I provide? How can I make sure that my son never has to go through some of those things? Right.
Was it? Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, well, how do I do that? And part of that came from crying through it. Yeah. You know, being ashamed through it. You know, going to the grocery line and putting the food stamp behind your back, shame.
All that.
Listen, I've been through it too, okay? But I do understand that, you know, at some point in time, we as people, especially as African-American people, that we have to start saying, okay, this is where I came from, but it does not mean that's where I'm going. And that understanding your past can help you determine who you are in the future and how to get to the next level. I use that pain and that frustration and that fear and the whole thing of not knowing who I was and the low self-esteem and all of that was combined in my heart and in my spirit many years in, because even with that, it took revelation to trust men, to actually open up enough to receive my husband. Does that make sense? Because at that point, all men had let me down in my life. You know what I'm saying? So that was a renewing of the mind of, hey, I have to get past this point where I can say, you know what? He's not my dad. He's not the guy that attempted to rape me. He's not this. This is a whole new, fresh love spirit. I need to try to see if it's going to go anywhere. And the only thing that allowed that to happen is going to the author and say, God, I need your help.
Reflection of your desire.
Yes, I need your help. I don't know where to go from here. I'm being mean to him. I'm arguing at him all the time. I'm fussing at him for stuff. I did all that. Listen.
Not you.
Yes, I was. He was like, why you so mean? Why you so mean? I don't know. I'm just mean. You wouldn't know now that I was mean because people call me Sunshine. Sonny, I was a mean head, okay? But it took a lot of change. And so when I had the chance to read your book last year, I actually had a chance to read your book last year. I've had it for a while. and I went back through it and just refreshed myself on some things. It made me think about how the experiences help develop who you are.
Right.
And now to try to get over that and move on to the next level. But you don't discount what you went through.
No.
You don't. Your transparency is refreshing because it helps you.
I tell people this, and I'm not to get all spiritual and deep, but when Jesus was put on the cross and when he was whipped, I always ask people, why was he whipped? They could have just stabbed him and cut his neck off and it's been done. He was whipped, and the reason why it whips is because when you make something, when you break a straight line, in surgery they have what they call finished steel incisions. They have straight incisions, right? The reason why the incisions are straight line incisions because they heal, right? When you whip something, you break something, it never heals. Is that mark is always, once it's made, nothing can ever make me straight again once it's been broken, right? So that's what the whip represents. It's a reminder. So it's okay for us to go back in our past. How people always say, well, don't dwell on the past. No, I'm not dwelling in it. I'm actually abating in it because I'm actually joyful for everything I went through. You know what I'm saying? I went through everything I went through, all the pain and scars, man. Look, they made me this, you know what I'm saying? Hear me? I'm him. Hey, look, and check this out. This is another thing that I wanted to say, because I get to talking. Now, hold on. I feel like I got something to talk about. Now, hold on.
There you go. Have at it. The floor is yours.
It was something that I had said on Facebook the other day. I always noticed with like our people. You say, man, I don't want to be rich or nothing. I just want to be good. What does that mean? What does good mean? When we have something called inflation, right? And if you're not preparing for what's going on every year and how the world is turning, then what's going to happen 5 years from now, where you was good, you're not going to be good right there. You're going to be stressed in your situation. So good is something that you have to keep preparing for. You know what I'm saying? Like living is something that's proactive, right? To be good, that means you have to be alive to be good, right? So we have to be part of that proactive. Now, what I noticed from a lot of our people, Mrs. Curry, they always say that, man, I don't want to be rich. And I know, coach, you driven. That's just you. No, that's not me, bro. I just want to live, right? I want to live not only for me, but for my children, for my wife, you know what I'm saying? Like, for my mom, my dad. I got a lot of people I take care of.
That's right.
But that just wasn't subsequent. This is something that I worked towards. I had been planning to be good for when I got in my 40s. Now I'm 46, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm looking forward to my 50s. Now that's going to be on a whole nother planet. For real though. That's going to be on a whole nother planet, Mrs. Curry. Yeah. I'm working on something. I'm building something. But my point is, it's good as it's a proactive movement. It's not like you care so much about money. I know once you get money, we're supposed to spend it and build with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of work on it itself. But good is something that has to have a definiteness of purpose. That Napoleon Hill uses the term. Napoleon Hill was a famous author, entrepreneur. He worked with a lot of rich, wealthy people back in the day, Think and Grow Rich.
One of my favorite books.
And he always talks about having a definiteness of purpose. You know what I'm saying? We have to have a purpose. Like we have to be intentional on what it is that we want in our life. You know what I'm saying? And where we're trying to go. Now, this book, you know what I'm saying? The book, Corrective Nation, if you notice, I really wasn't intentional about I knew what I wanted to be and do these things, but I really wasn't mature enough to understand how to see it in a grand scope. Now, what it is that we have to do in life, we have to trust, have faith in that God was going to guide us and guide our hearts to what it is that our hearts desire. Now I'm going to tell you something. I had struggled for those 20 years, but Mrs. Curry, I always knew I was going to be wealthy. I always knew I was going to be well off. I've always known that about myself because I've always been different I've always been an innovator, a creator, a builder. I've always been that all my life. You know what I'm saying? It's just that now when you got children in this mix, how would I look like I'm being a man balling, but my kids ain't? So I had to put my priorities and make sure that all my kids, now I got grown kids now, they all older, you know what I'm saying? And I did a great job, I think. Now, I wasn't in the homes, I had, in the home with my kids for the most part, but I've been in their life, and I've been active in their life. And like I said, I think I did a good job, And now where I'm at now, like I'm living I just got a tattoo,
I saw it.
I'm still a kid, you know what I'm saying? I'm still having fun, man. I'm enjoying I'm really enjoying my life right now, man. It's unbelievable.
Yes,
A
yes.
great wife, a great friend, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah,
saw
man.
that. I saw that. I said, oh, he the one that got here some fresh ink.
Los Angeles, baby. Yeah. You gotta represent.
I love that. I love that. I have one of those too. I have a tribal, but
Okay.
it goes all the way around the abs or whatever. But yeah, so I know when you get that ink, you be like, oh,
Right. Right.
got that fresh ink going on.
My wife
But
said
yeah,
midlife
that's
crisis.
is that what it was? A midlife crisis?
She's out going through midlife. I said, yeah, I am, you know. Yeah.
But
You
hey,
know,
go
I
ahead.
had surgery. You know, this I've been having a lot of surgeries. I actually had surgery on my nose. I had a broken nose, so I used to be a fighter. When my nose was broke, I had surgery on my nose. You know, just a lot of, you know, just getting myself together, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You now, how did you break your nose?
Fighting, boxing. I mean, I used to be when I was a fighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you've had it for a little while then.
Yeah, I
That,
had it for a while. And you know what? And it was I was very insecure about it.
mm,
So, you know, my wife was like, you know, I don't know you no other way. You know, I love you like that. I was like, nah, this is not me. So I went and got my nose fixed, you know, and I'm actually happy about it. You know, I'm
yeah,
happy about, yeah,
yeah. It looks good. I couldn't even tell you had surgery.
yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay, okay. Now with the new tapped in fit,
Yeah.
are you going to have boxing training in there, of course?
Yes,
Or
ma'am. Yep. It's going
yeah,
to be trained like a fighter. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
And you know, you get more than just, you know, a boxing coach. You get a life coach. Someone's going to help you
Yes.
reach your goals. You know, man, just it's just going to be a good opportunity for people just to get in a different element with somebody that actually care. It's not money's whatever. You know, actually, I wish I could have this, you know, run the center for free. However, we can't do. You know, yeah, our
Yeah.
time is costly. You know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Hey, we know time is money.
yeah.
That's true though. That's true. I work in finances every day and deal with people's, portfolios and help them, increase their income and wealth generation. And I tell you, I said, look, I'll talk to you for free for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But after a while, we got to charge you.
Yeah, nothing personal.
It's just, hey, it's just part of it, right? Part of it. I'm excited to come see Tapped In when you have it all done and
January 8th, it's gonna be the grand opening.
January the 8th.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big time, man. We're gonna
And
be
you'll
on
make
radio.
sure I get an invitation now to the
Oh, you
grand.
know it for sure,
Okay.
for sure. We're gonna be a catered event. It's gonna, man. When I say the facility gonna be, man, something out of a magazine. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
wow.
Believe that it's gonna be something out of a magazine for real.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually seen some of your training videos,
Okay.
and you and I think it was more so in boxing. You actually do a lot of celebrity training as well, still, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
man.
So you're all over
Yeah.
the place, and Atlanta is the hot spot
Yeah.
for
That's why
that.
I'm here. Yeah, that's why I'm here, man. Just to get to know who we are, you know, myself. You know, I tell people west of the Mississippi, we don't really exist, you know, and it's not a racial thing, you know what I'm saying? Just I always
Mhm.
wanted to just be around my people, you know, and
Yeah.
just to see what that feel like. I came out to Atlanta, like I said, met my wife. I was like,
Hmm.
I'm not coming back home, y'all. You know, I'm home, man. This is it for me, man. I love it here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I just love the culture. I love the people, man. It's awesome, you know.
Now let me ask you this. I know we've covered so much today. We talked about, what inspired you. We talked about the circumstances that, sort of got you to where you are and your motivation behind your books of work. Have you seen any struggles with reaching certain people that you need to touch with? Or you've seen any struggles in getting the audience that you need to actually hear what you're saying, like young boys or so forth that needs to hear this testimony?
Well, you know, Mrs. Curry, um, I wrote the book. I feel like I did my job. Like I'm not thirsty for like attention or whatever the case may be. Or and I've been getting attention all my life, and I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a twin. Hell, you know, twins always get a lot of attention.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just my story. You know that like everybody got different experiences, like I said, if somebody came away with this, was like, man, I gained something out of this, or I learned something, or this motivated, man, like, you don't understand how that makes me feel.
Yeah.
Like, that lights me up, I'm like, man, I'm just a regular street kid, man. I'm just, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I still probably I'm still make mistakes. I'm still,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Like, but
yes.
this is something like, that I feel like, somebody can pick up and they can take that they journey. Okay, I got some lessons that this dude went through with it.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it, man. We talked about abuse in this. How about spousal abuse? How about kids that are affected by parents, abusive parents?
Yeah.
The abusive home and how the kids are affected. I mean, it has so many different stories in this book. How about that people can relate to the loss, blood, love, dreams coming true, forgiveness.
Yes.
Yeah.
But see, that's what makes a wonderful coach. I see your audio was going out just a little bit, but I understood exactly what you were saying. That's what makes a wonderful coach. You get
Right.
that? That you are not looking for the attention, that you are just being yourself, that you are just being transparent, to be honest with what you endured and how you got to where you are. Someone that they can relate to is the main thing, right? So that's why I'm so excited about what you're doing, not only within Tapped In and what you're doing in health and fitness, and also your nonprofit for the young children. What I see is that the struggles that you've had in the past that made you the wonderful person that you are today, and your transparency of being willing to share that and how to help someone else. And if they take something from it, they take it, but they're going to take it anyway. If they read into the words of what you actually went through, they're going to take something from it. I took something from it. You and I have a lot in common on what we went through as kids. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said that. That's what makes a amazing coach. I'm very excited for you, and I'm proud of you, and I'm thankful, and I'm honored that we had the opportunity to even talk to you about all of the things that you've done thus far and what you're getting ready to do. Because the things you're getting ready to do is going to be a whole nother level.
I'm ready,
A whole nother level. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Miss Curry.
Thank you so much. Yes.
And look, this is for the people. This is how you psych your world out, to put you into to put you in the arena or the paradigm that you're trying to create was with positive affirmation. I'm going to leave you mine, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I tell myself every day that I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm rich, I am wealthy, I'm wise, I'm grateful, I'm confident, I'm successful, I'm loved, I'm a genius, and I'm joyful, and I'm free.
I love that.
That's a lot of them.
That's a lot of them, but it's confirmation.
Yeah.
It is affirmation.
Every day. I tell myself that every day.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us here today. I really appreciate you taking out your time and spending it with us and letting me pick your brain on some of the wonderful things that you're doing. And I look forward to being at the grand opening.
You there?
Yes. You're going to have it all marketed. I know you are. So as soon as you get that out there, I'll make sure I share. So looking forward to talking further, and anything that I can do to help you with your kids and helping with your program. Make sure you let me know.
I will. We very much so. I'm going to do a What It Takes convention. My goal is to get it off the ground next year, where I want to have a panel of different guests come. Financial literacy, I need some help.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be honored to.
Sure.
Thank you so much for being here. And if you had the opportunity to listen to us today with Authors Unite with Coach Sonny Weathersby, I mean, you were in for a treat. Thank you so much for being here with us. And to the next Authors Unite with W2AV Talk as our key sponsor and organization pushing this through. We are so thankful for him being here with us, giving us all the information and helping us understand about our struggles, how to get through them, and to get to the other side of having a wonderful lifestyle and new things in store. Looking forward to the next W2AV Talk, Authors Unite. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to W2AV Talk with author and wealth strategist Demetris Curry. Connect with Demetris at demetriscurry.com and subscribe to the Demetris Curry YouTube channel today.